Why is it that when Ian dies, his money sticks around, but when Bear dies, the entity inside Nikki disappears? In previous videos, I talked about the One Wish Willow's basic functions, like how it's instant and it's very literal, as it does exactly as you ask. In this video, I'm more going into the topic of how the One Wish Willow affects the world around you. And the first thing to understand is, Willow itself does not have an agenda. It's not like some evil cursed object that's trying to ruin your life. Most breakdowns of the movie and even the director are very clear about that. The One Wish Willow is neutral. Horror comes from what you ask it to do. Bear's wish is the evil thing, because he uses it to erase Nikki's autonomy and build her whole existence around him. I have so much to say about this fucker, but I'll save that for another video. Anyways, to get back on topic, to add to my other point, I want to point out that the One Wish Willows are connected. This is proven by the fact that when Bear goes back to the store to buy another one, he physically can't break it. That only makes sense if the world itself has already edited reality around his wish and locked it in. Now, every other Willow that he touches after that already knows that he already has a wish that he asked for. To me, that proves two things: that the Willows are literally editing things into existence, and two, that the Willows are operating under the same connected system. They remember who has made a wish and who hasn't made a wish. Now that we understand that the Willows operate on the same system, and it's one wish per person literally tracked by the universe itself, what's the difference between Ian's wish and Bear's wish? Because they're both using the same system, they both only get one, but when Ian dies, his money just sits there in the world. But when Bear dies, Nikki goes away with him. So clearly these are not the same kind of wishes. Let's start with Bear, because he's the most disgusting one. Bear isn't asking for something that you can just hold. He's asking for an ongoing condition. Nikki has to love him more than anything else in the world. That's not a one-time event. That's something that the wish has to keep true every second he's alive. The Willow has to keep reaching into reality and adjusting Nikki, her thoughts, her feelings, her behavior, to line back up with what he asked for. This is what I'm calling a subscription type wish. It's not a single update, it's a service that the wish has to keep running until he dies. So every time Bear starts to get bored, scared, or just plain annoyed with her, the wish has to push harder and harder to drag his attention back. That's why we see Freaky Nikki Psycho do every possible tactic to drag his attention back. Affection, seduction, manipulation, isolation, public humiliation, until flat out it just gets violent. For example, in that infamous scene where Nikki starts to walk backwards, Bear goes, "You're scaring me. Nikki, you're scaring me." Nikki immediately goes, "I would never hurt you," and her voice starts to soften up. Then in a literal second, she jerks at him as if she's about to attack him. To me, this is the wish editing her in real time. On the surface, she's saying whatever she has to comfort him in that moment, but real Nikki is fighting underneath. So after all that, here are the difference in the wishes. Bear dies, freaking Nikki disappears because the entire tether of the wish is built around his life. If there's no Bear, there's nothing left for the wish to really serve, so the entity inside Nikki just goes away. Ian's wish is different because his wish created a thing: money. Cash doesn't rely on Ian's heartbeat to exist because the world has already reshaped itself so that money is a real thing on the floor. It's not tethered to him in the same way that Freaky Nikki was tethered to Bear. Ian essentially just made money that now exists in our world. That's it. Leave you guys off with one final thing. If you ever find yourself holding one of these, do not wish for something that depends on the One Wish Willow to constantly adjust reality for you. I'm gonna say this again. Do not spend your wish on anything that the One Wish Willow has to keep running forever to keep it true. Your safest option is a one-time wish, something that the world can just pop into existence and leave alone.